Hey challengers, welcome to week 3, day 3, and today the topic is stress and the mind-body connection. And if you remember, we've talked about this several times, is that not all stress is bad. You actually need a little bit of stress so you can grow. But there is kind of certain kinds of stress that can be chronic and that can be debilitating and that can be actually toxic. So I want to talk to you about the difference. First thing is, there is a definite process of how you interpret, how you metabolize stress. Our thoughts lead to our emotions. Our emotions put us in a physical, mental, mind-body state. It releases chemicals and hormones. And that state of mind leads to the next step, which is actions. And those actions will lead to results and will eventually lead to your destiny. So there's a cutoff point where there's a certain healthy way of responding versus reacting. And so you've all heard about fight or flight. So there's actually 4 F's. There's fight, flight, freeze, and faint. And these are coming from a place of fear. This is when you are in a state of stress, you get fear as your response, you go into caveman or instinct mode, and you are unconscious typically. You're reacting, not really thinking, typically in a lower level of consciousness. Let me share with you a little chart here that I found online that gives a great analogy for different kinds of animals. So you have, of course, the bear is the fight, the rabbit is the run, flight, you got the deer, which is the freeze, and you got a possum, which kind of just rolls over and faints. And these are evolutionary responses that are kind of programmed into animals and us as human beings, because we are animals, the reptilian part of our brain, the limbic system. But there's another way to respond. There's another way to handle stress, and that's through a flow state. When you get into a flow state, you are using faith. You're actually not running or flighting. You're actually present. You're resourceful. You're tapping into your higher self. Your consciousness is what's leading the conversation instead of your unconsciousness. So I want to talk about how to really get balanced and counterbalance some of this chronic fight or flight, gnawing stress that we live in. And I want to give you some things to get away from being caveman and cavewoman so that we can actually be at the higher self and more of our flow state. The first is to quiet the monkey mind. Now, the monkey mind is just like that chatter that goes on constantly. You can't shut it up, those inner voices. One of the best things you can do is do nothing and just be. And I'm going to give you some information about a study. It's done in Japan. It's actually started to be doing in the United States as well. But it's something called forest bathing. And basically what it's just being in the forest for 15 or 20 minutes. And they have found that cortisol levels and heartbeats and blood pressure rates and immune systems improve just by being in the forest. Now, this can happen in nature in many different ways. Walking on the beach, being grounded in nature is restorative and it's healing, and it really puts your body and your mind in an optimal state. Second one is called PIES. This is something that Whitney and I learned from one of our mentors. PIES stands for, it's an acronym. P stands for, where am I physically? It's a situational awareness where you check in, and before you get into fight or flight, you feel that urgency, and then you go, okay, what am I feeling? What's going on physically? My heart's beating. I got a knot in my stomach. And you just ask yourself these questions. What's going on physically? Intellectually, what thoughts and judgments am I having? E, emotionally. Am I scared, mad, sad, or glad? Those are the 4 emotions. Just identify that emotion. And then the last thing is spiritually. What do I want? Or what do I value? What's important to me spiritually? And by going through those 4 stages, it brings you into awareness and a present mind where you can actually respond consciously instead of reacting. So it's just a way of slowing down, kind of like a stop, challenge, and choose strategy. And the one I really want to spend the most time on is conscious breathing. And conscious breathing is really taking responsibility for one of the most important things we have. There's 3 things that we need to survive. You can go 40 days, 50 days without food. You can go about a week without water. You can only go a few minutes without oxygen. How important is oxygen? Breath is life. It's everything. But we don't really think about it. A lot of us don't. So we're going to talk the rest of this conversation today is about breathing and how important it is. I'm going to give you a couple of strategies that I've been using and some tips on how you can get into body awareness. So first one is body awareness. It's a great way of like, it's not meditating per se, it's a meditative process, but it's using your breath to connect with your body. And it's super simple. What you do is you start with your toes. You get in a comfortable position, sitting, laying, doesn't matter. And starting from feeling with your toes, breathe into your toes and take about 5 or 6 breaths and just allow yourself to observe. If you have any sensations, just observe it. If you have any discomfort, just observe it. Breathe into it. Then after about 5 or 6 breaths, move to the next part, your calves. And just breathe into the lower part of your legs and just breathe 5 or 6 breaths there. Then go up to your knees and your upper legs and breathe and just feel and be aware and just pay attention to how your body feels. And do that all the way up your body to the different parts, all the way to the top of your head. And at the end, just take a couple of really deep clearing breaths and you'll be amazed at how grounded you can feel in just a few minutes. So that's number one, that's body awareness. The next one is called breath awareness. And this is, here's a simple, there's lots of ways to do breath awareness, but I'll give you one, a very simple, very quick one. It's called block breathing. And simply what you do is you breathe in for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 6, hold at the bottom for a count of 6, or 4, and then breathe in, count of 4. And if you breathe in through your nose and exhale through your mouth, that'll also calm your nerve. It'll activate your autonomic nervous system. So breathe in through the nose, hold, exhale, count of 6, hold, inhale, count of 4, through the nose, hold, exhale through the mouth, count of 6, pause, and inhale. And just repeat that for about even a couple of minutes. 2 or 3 minutes can do a magic in just like calming you. But if you really want to do it for a little bit longer, 7 to 10 minutes, that's even better. The next technique is a little more advanced. This is going to be activating your immune system. It's going to be making your blood alkaline. It's going to be oxygenating your blood. This is what I've been doing. It's called the Wim Hof technique. This guy is breaking world records and doing things that no one's ever been done. Sitting in ice for 18 minutes in sub-zero, running up to Mount Everest with barefoot and in shorts. Doing things that are superhuman. I mean, talk about the mind-body connection, being able to walk on fire, being able to do all these things. We know that if you can put your mind in a certain state, your body can do extraordinary things. So this is a way to get there. And basically, I'm going to give you a link so you can go through this and watch a little bit of an instruction on it, but I'm going to walk you through it very quickly. Firstly, the technique is you breathe in fully, starting with your belly, then your chest, and then up through here. So make sure you're diaphragmatic breathing in through your diaphragm. You breathe in fully, and then you let it go naturally. And you do this the first time for 40 or 50 breaths. Pretty intense, full breath in, let it out. And you do that for 40 or 50 breaths. And then after you've done that, 40, 50 breaths, then you exhale fully, and you pause. You don't breathe in. You hold your breath for as long as you can. When it's time to inhale, hold it as long as you can, because that's when your body's activating or using up all this oxygen to put into your system. That's when your immune system is firing. As soon as you say you need to breathe in, just breathe in fully, hold it for 10 or 15 seconds, exhale, and then repeat that. The next time, go for 30 or 40 breaths, breathe in fully, relax, exhale, breathe in fully, relax, exhale for 30 or 40 breaths. And then again, on the last one, exhale fully and pause. Don't breathe in. Hold it as long as you can. When you have to breathe in, take 1 breath in, hold it for 15 or 20 seconds, and let it out. And you'll notice that every time you go a little bit longer, the first time you'll probably go for about a minute. Next time you'll probably go for about a minute and a half. You could even get up to a minute, 2.5, 3 minutes if you get really into it and you start letting your body go. Now, watch the video. It really inspires you. It'll tell you exactly how to do it. So my challenge for you this week to really get into this mind-body connection, taking responsibility for the stress, getting rid of it in healthy ways, is to, number one, if you've never done any meditation, join on our app. We've got a 7-day app here. Let me just show you so you know exactly where it is. On the app, if you go up here to the trainings tab, instead of choosing the 4-week challenge, if you choose the meditation challenge, this first is the welcome video and explains it. And then each day, day 1 is a 5-minute video. meditation, then it's 12 minutes, then it's 15 minutes. And each of these meditations go a little bit longer and a little bit more challenging. So this is the first thing you can do, is you can do the 7-day meditation challenge. Second thing you can do is you can do one of the listed above, the body awareness or the breath awareness exercises, and try to do it every day for a week. I want to see what kind of experience you have. Or if you really want to stretch yourself, do the Wim Hof breathing, and I'll leave you the video of instructions on how to do the Wim Hof here as well. So the goal is to, after you've done this, is come back and share with your buddies what is happening for you, what you've noticed, what kind of results you've gotten, and come to this lesson and post your insights, your lessons. Really looking forward to hearing how metabolizing stress and getting out of that monkey mind and going from being reactive and a caveman or cavewoman under fight or flight and stress into responding and growing and using stress to grow yourself. So looking forward to hearing how it goes for you.